Hi, everybody. My name is Leela, and I am a student at Oakland School for the Arts. I'm a senior, and I've been in the theater program since sixth grade. And for the last 4 years, I've been specializing in the playwriting track. And I'm also the playwright for the world premiere of the Mahabharata, which just happened a couple weeks ago with the Youth Uproar Theater Company, who Rene is also a part of. If you want to take it away, Rene.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Rene. I'm part of the production design emphasis at OSA. I'm a junior. And yeah, I was the set designer of Leela's awesome show, the Mahabharata. And yeah, I'm also a member of the Youth Uproar Theatre Company who put on the show, of course.
Yeah. So I think it was maybe 2 years ago when Mr. Travisano approached me to write an adaptation of the Mahabharata, which is this huge Indian epic. It's the longest epic in the world, which I interpret it as the longest story in the world. It's so incredibly long that some people feel like it's bad luck to even have in their houses just because the sheer length of it has such a big energy that it's said to actually change like your life and the pathway of your life and how it's going. So most people only keep parts of it in their homes, and it tells this epic battle story between two brooding fighting cousins, the Kauravas and the Pandavas, and I'm pronouncing it with my American accent because I am Indian American. But yeah, if you want to go in and to find some like YouTube clips of that, and it's this huge battle, but it's also an integral part of Hinduism. It's a very, very sacred text, especially as a lot of you have probably heard of the Bhagavad Gita, which is a story between Arjun and Krishna about war and familial duty, all of this stuff. It covers everything. And it deals with a lot of things that we talk about now, like gender politics, post colonialism, what it is to be in a monarchy, what it is to be in power, how to rule people properly. Um, just encapsulates a lot of things. And as you know, it's such a huge text that I just decided to adapt the prologue to it. So there's actually nothing about this war in it. There are some subtle references, but it was a big enough thing in itself to even adapt the first three stories in the prologue. And when COVID happened, we weren't able to do it at OSA, unfortunately. But luckily, a group of OSA alumni and current students had formed this amazing company, Youth Uproar Theater Company, and they needed an inaugural show. So we got that together. And yeah, Rene, I'm interested to hear about how you got into the project and what your initial thoughts were too.
Yeah, so I was a founding member of the Youth Uproar Theatre Company back in shoot June or May and of 2020, that is. And yeah, I took the position of the technical director. They needed one, so I was there. I had out of all of them, I had the most experience in any type of technical theater. And so yeah, when we were doing the casting call for the Mahabharata, we were having a bit of trouble finding a large amount of people to take on the different positions. And so we thought, after some consideration, that might just be the best way to go about it for our inaugural show would be to just have someone who was internal take over some of the positions. So I took over the set designer position. I did props. I did very, very small amount of animation, very small. And yeah, so yeah, it was just kind of was natural, I was there, they needed someone to do the job, so I did the job.
You did such a good job. I mean, I remember writing it and thinking, I don't know how a set designer would kind of take this over because it takes place in like a palace, it takes place in like a Brahmin ritual, it takes place in a forest, it takes place in a different palace. There's so many different places because there's so many different mini stories that comes from each of it that
Right.
I was like, whoever's designing this is gonna have to make it really um like flexible. It's gonna have to be able to go in and out. So it's really cool how you sort of took different places and put that in the virtual sense of it too, because it ended up not being a live show. It ended up being pre-recorded completely over Zoom.
Right, right. Yeah, I actually, yeah, forgot about that. We had originally planned for it to be a show that we filmed live. But of course that fell through when the COVID cases in the Bay Area started to rise pretty exponentially. So yeah, creating the backgrounds was really great. I honestly can't even take all the credit for it either because so much of the research process I did with our director, Ichtaca Lira. Um yeah, he was really instrumental in helping me with the research, the set design, just the general idea behind it. Originally, we came up with just a kind of general vibe, and then we found some images that we thought suited our needs, and then I based the design off of those. And so yeah, just basically created three backgrounds and then edited some of them to look to fit different scenes and things. So yeah, it was a really great experience. And yeah, it really was.
Yeah, it was super cool. I love the color. Like, I was wondering how you came up with the specific colors. Was that something that just came to you, or were you like specifically trying to match it up?
Um, I tried to match it up. I created the backgrounds in Procreate on my iPad, and with that you can do some like it's you can kind of if you get an image, you can paste it into the thing that you're editing, and then grab the colors and drop them from thing to thing. I'm not the best at coloring things in general, so I found a series of images. For instance, for the castle set that I did, one of them, um, I found a series of images that had the color palette I was looking for. And then I take some of the colors and use them, and then just basic, shading and stuff to make them really pop with where it was. And yeah, I kind of put some like filters over it and stuff to make it look nice. Yeah, a lot of dragging and dropping, that's for sure.
That's so cool. My favorite part at the end was when like the storyteller is doing their last monologue and then it switches back and forth between like the multiple sets and I felt like it fit together really well. It felt like maybe
Yeah,
the show was meant to be virtual the whole time because of how quickly it switched back and forth.
yeah, I totally agree. It was it's one of those things where once it all comes together, it feels like it was meant to be. It's so strange how that happens.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah, well, thank you guys so much for tuning in and check out what you Uproar Theater Company's doing next because they have some crazy awesome things coming out this summer.
Thank you.